Thank you, Justin. My name is Takahiro Yamakawa from the Japanese Financial Services Agency. First of all, I'd like to thank FinCity.Tokyo for inviting us to this great opportunity. Today, I'm here as a representative of Japan FSA, or the representative of the Japanese government, to deliver only one message to you all. And the message is, the Japanese government will make Japan a global and Asian international financial hub. Many of you may be thinking that you have heard such a fairy tale from the government in the past several times. In reply, I say this time is different. Why so? Allow me to elaborate. Like many other aspects of lives and business, COVID-19 is a game changer. Suddenly, we're trapped in a country, or even worse, within a single city after the COVID outbreak. We cannot travel from one Asia-Pacific headquarters to other important business locations in the region. This means that we must now reconsider the excessive concentration in one business location. Thinking of the growing volume and diversity of Asia-Pacific business, it's time to consider having multiple business locations in the Asia-Pacific region. And Japan will be an inevitable part of your multiple location strategy in the Asia-Pacific area. Of course, COVID should be beaten. The current restriction of international travel will be and should be lifted in the near future. But our experience of COVID has shown us that the way of conducting business before the disease was fragile and needs to be reconsidered. Another driving force for multiple locations is the need to deal with growing global risks. I don't think I have to mention the current US-China relations to warn you of the growing geopolitical risk in the region, while climate change and related natural disaster risks are obviously growing as well. Having multiple locations will mitigate these risks of your country and help strengthen the resilience of the global financial system at the same time. Now, let me move on to the next topic. When you consider or reconsider where to be located in the Asia-Pacific region, what can Japan offer to you? Japan has overwhelming strength, a stable and mature political system, a reliable legal system, a wide variety of natural attractions, from powder snow in Hokkaido to tropical beach resorts in Okinawa, and a rich culture and entertainment. Moreover, we have the capital market of the third largest economy and more than $19 trillion financial assets of Japanese households. This is a great opportunity. Of course, Japan has some weaknesses in comparison to other financial hubs in Asia. The language barrier in business and everyday life, slow financial regulatory process, and other business processes, difficulties in finding or bringing domestic helpers and nannies, and the tax burden. Being aware of the sea change underway in the choice of business locations in the Asia-Pacific region, the Japanese government, we will never leave these weaknesses unattended. We will fix them. First, English only and swift registration process at JFSA and its local offices. At the JFSA, we will undertake registration and other regulatory processes in English for foreign asset management firms which consider entering the Japanese market. We're going to make an official announcement in the near future. But if you have any questions, please send an email to our Financial Market Entry Consultation Desk. a link to which you can find on the top page of JFSA English website. We will also try our best to shorten the time from application to registration. The desk I mentioned has supported the smooth entry of 22 firms so far. And there was a case in which we almost halved the time needed for registration. We will further try to strengthen and make more use of this desk to speed up the registration process. Second, support with non-financial regulatory business procedures and everyday life for foreign companies and business persons. Even though JFSA supports you in financial regulatory process, you also need to go through some other business procedures, such as establishing a company, finding an office, and hiring staff. You also need to find a house as well as a proper school for children and maybe clinics or hospitals. Aritomo-san's FinCity.Tokyo and the Tokyo Metropolitan government are here to help you in the Tokyo area. And the Japan FSA is already cooperating with them really closely. Third, domestic helpers and nannies. Unlike Hong Kong and Singapore, domestic helpers and nannies are not really common among ordinary Japanese people. But we're aware that they support the family lives of highly skilled financial professionals in many cases. Together with FinCity.Tokyo and relevant ministries at the JFSA, we're looking into this issue, and we're going to find out what we can do. And last but not least, the tax burden. I'm aware that most of you here are interested in what I'm going to say about tax issues. And to be frank, I'm not going to say that our tax level will ever be like that in Singapore or Hong Kong, which are both city-states. However, we're thinking really hard to achieve whatever policy measures are needed to help you enter the Japanese market. And along with the tax level, we also want you to take into account price levels and rent for office and residence when you estimate disposable income in the case of moving to Japan. It is often misunderstood, but nowadays Japanese price levels and rent are much lower than those in Singapore and Hong Kong. This should be one of the key factors when you consider your business location strategy. The 4 points I mentioned are just a few of our efforts to welcome you to the International Financial Hub Japan, and we do not intend to stop here. Rather, we will continue to create better policies going forward, and please stay tuned to hear about our initiatives. At the same time, the JFSA welcomes your input for any ideas or thoughts about how we could encourage market entry by foreign financial institutions like you. We're looking forward to constructive discussions and candid opinions today so that we can better understand the true needs for our policy responses. Thank you very much. And back to Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Yamakawa. And just as a reminder,